Hi guys and welcome. These are your handover videos for your 2023 Bailey Pegasus Grande Messina. So these are essentially your basic walkthroughs showing how to set up, operate the caravan as if you were coming on or off site. Starting off first, you've got your hitch head just here. Have that up and have this silver lever up. Wind down your jockey wheel onto your tow ball, and when it's on, that handle will snap down. You'll hear that noise. You'll push up that red ring and expose the green ring at the bottom. Then you're on. Now this is a gas strut handbrake, so press in on the button and pull it up and down. Now with these, always double check that you have it all the way back, because otherwise, you'll have a tendency to roll forward. So just make sure it's all the way back. You've got jockey wheel just here. Them 13-pin electric, so if your car does have 7-pin adaptation, either get that changed or just bring yourself an adapter. The adapter will only work the legalities. 2 points either side and 2 points at the back. You have inserts for your legs. Now the caravan itself comes with a leg winder, or you can get yourself a 19mm drill bit and a power drill and just wind it down a bit quicker. First level using the jockey wheel, and then put down all 4 corner steadies. Do not attempt to jack up or level the caravan using the legs themselves. They are only used for stabilisation. So we're using our test equipment today here. So as you can see, I've got a mains lead. Mains lead plugs into this side. The other bits, like your external mains point, the external gas barbecue point, not going to go over, but they are as simple as just plug in. So come round to the other side. So starting off first, this is a water barrel full of fresh drinking water. Then you have your insert for your water, so that's where it slides in. I'm just going to pause, and here we are. So just here, pull that up. This is your water pump. Water pump pushes into here, and then you can lock it into place by just pressing down that. Got a white cap to go over the top of the acroll to make sure no nastiness gets in. Then at the bottom you have your strainer. Now it is critical that the strainer sits at the bottom of the barrel, as otherwise it will just get through air, lead to coughs and splutters, and ultimately not work. So always check to make sure that's at the bottom. Next up, you've got your flue. Your flue is used to get clean air in and out of your boiler. Don't have to do anything with this except make sure it's nice and clean. Then next up, got your gas locker. So there's your gas bottle just there. I've got a gas hose in date connected onto this part here, and a propane gas bottle just here. I'd always recommend propane over butane, however you can run both, just with different gas hoses. Black hoses run for 5 years. This one's dated 2023. Connects onto that regulator there. You can hand tighten that to an extent and then just nip it up using a spanner. Once both sides are firmly connected, twist the gas bottle in the positive or open direction, and that will begin to feed gas through into the caravan. This model has a motor mover. I will show you that on collection. And then lastly, I've got your toilet function. So first up, just pull that up there. You have 2 inserts here, and that is where your wastewater will come out of. You'll need some 28.5mm waste pipe to then feed into a waste master that you can then empty at the appropriate point on the site. Just here you have your cassette, your toilet. So to remove this, press up on the orange handle and pull out just like so. When you get to your emptying point on site, you can also extend that out to use it as like a little bit of, I describe it as a carry-on suitcase. So when you get to your emptying point, twist that head to the side, take off that head just here. You need to tilt, and at the same time as tilting, continually pressing your button here to down. Then what I would do, this is only a recommendation, open up those 2 compartments just there, put in some fresh water, remember to shut it as well, a little bit of the shake, and again tilt and vent. On this cap here you have measurements in both imperial and metric, and that is for your blue chemical. Blue chemical goes into this cap just here, twist it back to the side, push it in so that that orange handle sits behind those white teeth, as then it can't be removed without pressing gulp. Then just here we have your fill-in for your flush tank. Flush tank itself can hold 12 litres, however I wouldn't recommend putting in any more than 10 as you don't want to overfill it. You can also add what's called pink chemical, which works as a bleach without being corrosive and also makes it smell a bit nicer. Now you don't want to travel with either of these two full, so just here, literally just hanging around the side, got this bunk here, open it up and drain off any remaining water from a flush tank. The caravan itself will be fully drained off before you leave with it. Then underneath your right hand side seat you have first your boiler just here. Main thing I want to focus on is that yellow drain valve. So horizontal position as it is now, that is allowing the water to flow through. You flick it up to the vertical position and that means no water can get through and will drain off the entirety of it. November to March I'd recommend having that up permanently unless you're actively using the caravan, and any time that you've finished up on site, give it a drain off as it's just better for the system. Then these caravans weren't built for big guys. You have your trips and fuses underneath your table just here, all your trips in the upright position, all your fuses in the correct position. Then in this compartment just next to the door you have your brain boxes for your mover and also your ignition switch. So when it comes to using that I will show you on collection, but that's where it is if you need it for future reference. And just here we have your main control panel. So this is for everything by your heating and hot water. You have your main on and off switch just here. You can press in this button to see the amount of volts coming into the caravan, which is currently 13.7. When you're not plugged in with mains, that will give an accurate representation of the reading for what's coming out of the leisure battery. Got inside lights just here, and then you just use your respective light switch. Then you've got awning light, come outside and you can see just there. Then you have water pump, so when you switch that over just there, come over to your taps, open up on both cold and also hot, and you let it run for about 30 seconds. Now when you first plug it in, I'd recommend waiting about 2 to 3 minutes to let it circulate through. Come over, open up the taps, and what you're looking for is that nice steady continuous stream. Any costless flutters, go outside, check that the what's it called, pump is actually sat at the bottom of the barrel, and then also check on your shower and your other sink if you want to as well, but just check on both hot and cold and let it run for about 30 seconds. So quick summary: main on and off switch, inside lights, outside light, water pump, battery level. And just here we have your trimmer control panel. So this button here is also a dial, and then you've got your back button. So press in on the button and you'll come to this screen here. So starting off first, you've got the caravan with the thermometer in it. So this is for the internal temperature of the caravan that you desire. Starts off at 5 degrees and works its way up to 30. To select, you just press in on the dial. Next up, you've got the thermometer in the water. So this is for your water temperature. You can either have it off, eco, which gets the water temperature to 40 degrees, hot, which will get it to 60 degrees, or boost. Now boost will prioritize the water temperature over the actual heating of the caravan for about 15 minutes and then drop it back down. Then you've got your energy source. So you can either run strictly gas for the heating and hot water, a mixture of gas and 1 kilowatt of electric, mixture of gas and 2 kilowatts, strictly electric with 1 or 2 kilowatts. And to select, just press in. Then you've got this fan icon here. So this is two separate bits. So right now I don't have the heating set on, so I can either have that off or vent. And what vent does, it essentially circulates the air across the caravan, so you'd have open all your windows and push through that nice British or wherever fresh air, right? However, if I go over to this one, let's just put it on 5 for a second, go back over to fan, I can either have it eco or high. Eco is a steady breeze coming out of here, high is a bit more vigorous burst. Then next up, press that back in again. Got this one here. This is a timer, so this allows you to set when you'd like the heating and hot water to come on, when you'd like it to come off. So you first input when you'd like it to come on, and then off, and that will just cancel out everything. Then you've got the time, so it's currently not 16 minutes past 5. You just select the correct time whenever you boost it up. It will reset itself if you turn off the actual system. Then lastly, you've got some additional settings. So offset, temperature, brightness, 12 or 24 hour clock, language, index or reset. Not going to go through them as we have set it in a way that it's the most user friendly. However, if you want to learn what those bits do, please have a look inside your book bag. Then finally, turn this off, press and hold on this middle dial. Turns itself off. And just here we have your fridge. So turn this on, press and hold in on this dial. You can see this pops up and you come to this screen. Open up the fridge. Now this one, it is a two-way fridge, so you can open from either side. And then your top compartment is your freezer. I don't know why I said it like here, but let's not focus on that. So press in on here, and then this is again similar to this, it's also a dial. They love doing that in caravans. So first up, you have the amount of power that you want from the fridge. So 1 being the least powerful, 5 being the most powerful, so it's going to chill it the quickest. Press it in again. I've got sources, so I can either have auto, so whatever I select has a blue background. That battery icon is not for your leisure battery. That's also where your leisure battery sits. It is for when you're plugged in with 13-pin electric. So only do that when you're plugged in. Got gas. Now for gas, you'll hear the gas gradually begin to tick in. Then once it's finished ticking, that means it's lit. And then mains. I'd say just stick it on auto. It chooses the best source to use. Again, just a recommendation, just depends on what you're doing at the time. Then you've got some additional settings. So first up, that light bulb, that is for the screen brightness. The thicker the bar, the more bright it's going to be. Next, you've got sounds for when you're selecting stuff. You've got a fridge vent circulation system that essentially pushes the air around. And then you have fast freeze. Fast freeze is going to prioritize the freezer over the actual fridge itself. Then to turn this off, press and hold in on the dial. You'll hear it beep unless you've changed the settings, and it will turn itself off. Then we've got your toilet functions, which you might say is box simple. Lift up that lid. You've got the flush button mounted against the wall. Press it in, and you can hear that motor. That motor is what would push around the water if you had any inside the system. Then when you need to empty, press away from yourself, opens up the catch and pull it back, and that opens it up. When the cassette is full, you will see a red icon just there showing that it is all ready to be emptied. Then lastly, we have your hob, grill and oven operation. So everything works on gas minus the electric plate. You stick that to whatever gas mark you want and it will get to that temperature. Everything else, press in on the dial, twist it to the side, that will feed gas through, and then press the igniter. This is what it looks like when it's lit. As you can see, all the burners nice and lit. Turn it off back to the central position. Then again for the grill. Then again, as you can see, both sides nice and lit. And finally, the oven. And then you can see there as well. Only other thing to note, you have to travel with this glass sheet down, but make sure all the burners are cold to the touch until you put it down. Now that's not me saying go ahead and do that after you've just used it, but you know, be sensible. And then make sure that you travel with your gas off.